Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Rare Book Cafe Coffee Break. I'm Linn with the Ridge Books in Calhoun, Georgia. And today we're going to have another report from my co-host, Ed Markiewicz, as he travels around Sicily. He's in the town of Modica, and he's going to the library of a Nobel Prize winner. So stay tuned for a really interesting visit to this little village in Sicily. We're back, and we'll be joining Ed Markiewicz in just a moment. The town of Modica, Sicily, was destroyed by, I think, earthquakes in the 1700s, but was rebuilt in a Baroque style, and he'll be pointing out some very ornate Baroque buildings on his way to the library of the 1959 Nobel Prize winner in literature, Salvatore Quasimodo. And no, this is not the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but anyway, it's an interesting library, and we'll be hearing a little bit of some of Quasimodo's work. So, Ed, are you joining us?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Rare Book Cafe, the book lovers' rendezvous. This is a coffee break edition. Thank you for rendezvousing with me in the town of Modica, Sicily, as I continue my journey around Sicily to visit all of the 7 precious gems, the 7 UNESCO heritage sites. Today I've come upon the town of Modica, which is one of the 8 cities which was destroyed in the 1793 earthquake and rebuilt in the late Baroque style. Absolutely fabulous architecture, especially the churches. As I was traveling through the town, I stumbled upon this unique literary hole in the wall. So let me take you there and show you around. However, before we go inside this literary hole in the wall, I just want to take a quick moment to give you an example of the Baroque architecture that has made these 7 villages so famous. Most of the architecture, of course, is exemplified in the churches. The great bell towers, the encumbered colonnades, the beautiful carvings above all the doors and windows, and not to mention here on the hillsides of Italy, step upon many, many steps. And here I am on the steps of another one of those fabulous Baroque churches, this being the Chiesa San Pietro di Duomo, the Duomo of St. Peter. Wonderful architectural style. If you ever make it to Sicily, there's 2 books I absolutely recommend, both of which I've read on my reading list before coming here. Actually, one I finished while I was here. The first is a nonfiction book by John Julius Norwich, simply titled Sicily. It's the history of Sicily from prehistoric times all the way up to the end of World War II, and it explains the culture, the history, and what it was that makes the Italian Sicilian people who they are. The other one is this fabulous book, The Leopard, by Tomasi de Lampedusa. Essential reading. It is the only book that he ever actually wrote, one of those one-hit wonders, but it's on the reading list of every Italian student and should be on yours, whether you make it to Sicily or not. Also, I wanted you to see how stylish I am. Today I'm wearing my 1970 tie-dyed peace shirt. All we are saying is give peace a chance. All right, let's head on over to the Salvatore Quasimodo Memorial Library, shall we? Well, a funny thing happened on the way to the library. I was getting dehydrated, so I needed something to drink. I was thinking about getting a bottle of water, but hey, when in Rome, it's spritz time. Anyways, if you're not quite sure who Salvatore Quasimodo is, fire up your Wikipedia and check him out. He was born here in the town of Modica in 1901, and in 1917, at the young age of 16, he was one of the first publishers of the New Literary Journal and published his own poetry. In 1919, he moved to Rome to finish his engineering studies, but things were kind of tough in Rome. The economics were pretty bad, and instead he decided to delve into his love of Latin and Greek. It held him in good stead. In 1930, he published his first volume of poetry, and in 1938, he devoted himself entirely to writing, gave up on engineering, and became an author. He was a very devout anti-fascist, though he never took up arms along with the resistance against Mussolini. Instead, he devoted himself entirely to writing and to translations. He worked on translations of the Gospel according to John, the Cantos of Catullus, and several episodes of the Odyssey. His style can be described as the Hermetic. Hermetic is a style of poetry writing and writing in general where the melody, the words, are themselves as songful and perhaps more important than their meaning. Anyways, check him out, and now that I'm almost hydrated, we'll be heading on down to the library. One of the great little places I stumbled across as I was walking around the town of Modica is the Biblioteca Comunale di Salvatore Quasimodo, the winner of the 1959 Nobel Prize for Literature. He was born in this village in August of 1901. Later, he left following his father around the island of Sicily. Let's go inside the library and take a look what we can see. Here behind the bust of Quasimodo by Francesco Messina, we read the words, "The birth of a poet is always attached to disorder." The first thing you notice when you come in off of the street out of the hot Sicilian sun is the cool of the Sicilian marble, floors and ceilings and walls. Here on this wall, in this little covey, we see a poem by the great Italian poet Salvatore Quasimodo. Also, we see posters here advertising book readings by other famous contemporary Italian authors. And here inside the library, our librarian Cettina is going to open up the cabinet with some wonderful first editions by Salvatore Quasimodo. Here you can see just a couple of them. What a rare and beautiful collection of books this is. Here we see in the library a facsimile of the Letters of Love by Quasimodo. One of the things I absolutely adore about this type of manuscripts is you can see how the poet's ideas and words have changed. The meaning of the words themselves. This great little book in a fabulous bookcase includes photos of him as a young man, early receipts, and his parents, the mother and father of Salvatore Quasimodo. And after a little bit of schmoozing with the librarian, I've been given permission to come here behind the closed doors where they have 5,200 rare books and 23 incunables. And here on the wall of the library is a quote by another famous American, Linus, through the words of Charles Schulz, quote, "I fall in love with any girl that has the smell of library paper. And here is a quote from another famous Italian author, Umberto Eco. Books are respected by using them, not by leaving them alone. All right, folks, thanks for joining me on this little coffee break edition of the Rare Book Cafe. Always a pleasure to have you along with me as I travel around. And I'll be back in America next week, and my co-host Linn and I will be rejoined for another wonderful Rare Book Cafe, the book lovers' rendezvous. See you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.